Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Game Week 2 in the Premier League, comparing my predictions to what actually happened. As you can see, some of them were pretty good, some of them less so. So Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, first game of the game week, Friday night. I thought it was going to be 2-1, and it was 2-1. Big brain right there. Nottingham Forest started the game very well. Taiwo Wanyi, by the way, scored in 6 games in a row, 8 goals in his last 6 games. What a player. Chelsea need a striker. I wouldn't be surprised to see him looking at him. First half, Forest were probably overall the better team. Didn't do too much after their goal, but I think still slightly edged it. However, in the second half, Sheffield United came flying out the blocks. Got a goal very early on with Gustavo Hamer making his debut. Signed from Coventry. What a player he is and what a goal. After the first 15-20 minutes of the second half, it was all Sheffield United. They were really piling on the pressure. Vinicius Souza had a few chances as well. Genuinely, if Sheffield United play like this, they will get points and they do have a genuine chance of staying up. However, Forest got the goal very late on. A brilliant header from Chris Wood, signed on a permanent from Newcastle. Wow, Fulham Brentford, this one I did not get right. I predicted 2-1 Fulham because of the home team mainly. Brentford ended up winning 3-0, however this game had so much controversy, as did a lot of games. Overall in the first half, Brentford were probably the better side. Fulham did hit the crossbar, they also hit it again in the second half. But Brentford probably created a bit more, had a few more opportunities, Leno forcing a couple saves. However, at 1-0, Tim Ream gets a red card, Brentford get a penalty. In my opinion, not a penalty at all, it was so soft. There was barely any contact. Visser miskicked the ball and fell over with the most minimalistic contact. However, once he goes down and a penalty is given, a yellow card has to be issued, and since Ream was already on a yellow, that means he got sent off, and that really took Fulham out of the game. Now, I definitely think 3-0 flattered Brentford, but overall they were probably the better side. However, with 11 men against 11, no penalty, you never know what could happen at the end of the game. For Fulham, Polinia still wasn't playing, Mitrovic is now gone, that's a big worry. They have to make sure they adequately replace him with a able goal scorer. Once Polinia comes back, they should be a lot more solid defensively. However, Diop's mistake for the first Brentford goal was horrendous. And yeah, would I be worried if I was a Fulham fan? Probably not, but performances do need to pick up. As for Brentford, they're looking good so far. Draw with Tottenham, beating Fulham. It's not a bad start for him. I've put Mbomo into my FPL, so hopefully he does well in the next week. If he now does nothing, Liverpool Bournemouth, again, I predicted 3-1, and it was 3-1. Bang on the money again. Another massively controversial game. At 1-1, Liverpool given a penalty for, again, another very soft penalty, man. Yes, there was slight contact on Szoboszlai. In my opinion, not enough for a penalty. Again, it was a very theatrical dive. It was really soft. Salah missed the penalty but scored the rebound, but still, it was just really soft. And then the McAllister red card, again, it was quite a harsh red card. However, I can see why it was given. People are saying never a red card. I definitely think it was a very strong yellow minimum. However, again, I can, he was kind of high. It was a bit dirty, so I can understand what is a red. Quite a soft red, quite a harsh red on Liverpool. They did alright with 10 men, they scored after anyway. However, Bournemouth also had a few chances. Again, I think, although they haven't won either of their opening 2 games, they've played well in them. They've got Tottenham next, which is not an easy game, but, again, I think they can be proud of the performance, and the points will definitely come. Wolverhampton won against Brighton and Hove Albion. I thought it was going to be 4-0. Hwang Hee-chan prevented that and made it 4-1. I knew Brighton were going to slap them, and it's Brighton, they're too good, and Wolves are not good. With that being said, in the first half, Wolverhampton Wanderers probably had the better chances. Fabio Silva was sent through 1-on-1, one of the worst shots I've ever seen for what he was doing. Ait Nouri had another 1-on-1 which he somehow missed the target from when he was about 8-9 yards out. Wolves still can't score goals, however they are now creating chances. Gary O'Neill is definitely getting more out of these players than Lopetegui was last season. But, it's Brighton. Brighton have scored 8 goals in their first 2 games now. They're top of the league currently. Just look phenomenal. Solly March, Enciso, Estepinian, Mitoma's goal, by the way. What a finish. What a run. Everything about that goal was sensational. I started watching Prime Neymar. It was so good. But yeah, Hwang Hee-chan, man. That boy, I had him in my FIFA 21 Ultimate Team, yeah? I had this once to watch card. He used to miss 5 1-on-1s every game, and I still loved him. And now he's cost me FPL. I had Estepinian and Steele on my FPL team, and I just, oh my god, man, that man, I'm starting to hate him now. Tottenham against Manchester United, I thought it was going to be 3-0 to Tottenham. Ended up being 2-0 to Tottenham. Again, I got the result right. Yeah, Manchester United are seriously in a bit of trouble. The first half, for the first 20-25 minutes, Manchester United were definitely the better side. However, Tottenham got much more into the game in the second half of the first half. They were creating more of the chances, getting more on the ball. The woodwork twice in about 10 seconds. Pedro Porro shot. And then I think it was a deflection of Luke Shaw. Tottenham adapted after that poor start, and Manchester United, although they had the better start, they didn't really create anything too clear-cut, other than Rashford and Bruno having golden headers. I mean, Rashford's might have been slightly offside, but he was about 8 yards out, hit over. Bruno was about 3 or 4 yards out and hit over. I can't believe he got the header that far wrong. It was not a bad ball in at all. In fact, it was a good ball in. All he's got to do is head it down and it's a goal. Instead, he heads it up and it goes over the bar. Really poor header. Bissouma's looked phenomenal in these first two games. Sarr in this game, partnering him, was also really good. Got a goal, did well defensively as well. Made some good runs into the box. I don't know what Conte was doing with this team, man, because these two were there last season and he just didn't use them. Doggy looks very good. Maddison didn't have quite as good a game, but was still very good. There was a little dribble he did at the edge of his own box where there were 4 people around and got past all of them and played a really nice ball out wide. What a player he is. He's probably my favourite player in the Premier League, man. I love him so much. Heung-min Son had a much better game as well. Cario had a good game, made a few really important saves. Richarlison, again, very poor. Couldn't really get into the game. He's not the answer. They need to get a striker. Kulusevski again wasn't amazing. It still had some chances, created the first goal really. So he had an alright game, but there's still an extra gear I think you can find. And for Manchester United again, Martinez was absolutely dreadful in that second half. Rashford, Garnacho again really poor. Anthony not great. He did hit the post in the second half right after Tottenham scored their first goal, but again, Fernandes, Mount, Casemiro, all really poor. It's not a good side. They have a lot of issues to iron out if they're even going to challenge for the top 4. Reality is really hitting Manchester United now. The Glazers can't be blamed for this. They spent the money on players Ten Hag wants, like Martinez, like Anthony, Casemiro, Mount. These are all players that Ten Hag wanted. Manchester City against Newcastle, I got this one wrong. I thought it would be 3-1 to Newcastle. I thought they were going to do it. I said in my predictions. But Manchester City, having their best player out injured for 4 to 5 months, just coming off the back of a Super Cup game in midweek, thought they'd be tired. But they weren't. And you know what? Fair play to them. They showed why they're the best team in the world. And Phil Foden, I will admit I've shouted on him a lot because I don't think he's as good as people think he is. He was phenomenal in this game. Man of the match. Was really good. Set Haaland up a fair few times. He had a poor game by his standards. Botman dealt with him pretty well on the whole, but when he did get a few half chances, just scuffed them. This was not a good Newcastle performance. Again, it's going to be tough going to the best team in the world, who had won 16 on the bounce before this at home. 17 now. I genuinely think Manchester City could go the whole season at home unbeaten, but Bournemouth will probably win there. It'll be a 2-1. Brentford will probably win. It'll be one of those one of the more mid-table teams that'll go there. They won't take them as seriously and they'll get punished for it. Newcastle going to the best team in the world and losing 1-0 is not a bad result. They couldn't implement their own game plan really until the second half. I think from 70 minutes onwards they looked quite good. They had a lot of the possession. They just couldn't really create a clear-cut chance. They had a few opportunities, but I thought Wilson, when he came on, there's a big chance for him. He should have played someone else in, and he decided to dribble, and that really killed off the chance. Almiron was a bit too easy to read. Overall, it wasn't a vintage Newcastle game. Again, shouldn't be too disappointed. Phil Foden really showing he will step up in Kevin De Bruyne's absence, and he needs to. Manchester City performing like I said every week, they're going to win the title pretty easily. Aston Villa against Everton, I thought it'd be 2-0. When it was 2-0 after about half an hour, I knew it was going to be more. Aston Villa ended up winning 4-0. Aston Villa really bounced back from their performance against Newcastle, showed the quality that they actually do have. Everton, complete turnaround from their Fulham performance. Even though they lost that game, they played really well. Here, they created pretty much nothing. Calvert-Lewin went off injured. It's not looking good for them. Not really much to say. I feel like it was sort of expected. Villa dominated, played really well. Diaby was good. Bailey was good, although apparently he assaulted a fan outside or something. I don't know what that's about. But Digne was really good. He put some really good crosses. However, he might be leaving. The defence was solid. McGinn was good. It's what you expected. To be honest, Villa easily won. They're showing they're going to be in a European fight this season. West Ham against Chelsea. I predicted 1-1. West Ham won 3-1 and they had 10 men for about half an hour. Liverpool Prowse got 2 assists on his West Ham debut. He played really well. What a player he is, man. Mikel Antonio as well, I want to give a shout out to him before we go into the goals and stuff. Like, what a player. He's not the most flashy player. He's not the 20 goal season striker, but he is so important. He's really strong. He's really quick. You know, he can hold the ball up to get other players in. He can do things himself, and his goal that he scored was so good, man. So good. Like the way he took it wide, making everyone think, oh, his chance is gone. And the way he got the right amount of power and accuracy to just smash the ball into the net. What a goal, man. What a player. West Ham started the game well. You know, they got a goal within the first 15 minutes. Ward-Prowse to Aged. Then Chelsea got themselves back into a really nice goal from Chukwuemeka. They then missed a penalty for Enzo Fernandez. Really poor penalty. Good save from Areola, who I had on my bench in my FPL team. Of course I did. Chelsea really dominated the second part of that first half. As we went into the second half, West Ham sort of got more into it. Then Antonio scored the wonderful goal. Aged then got a really stupid red card. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, not controversial at all. He absolutely deserved it. He was already on a yellow card. He made a really dumb challenge and he got sent off. Caicedo came on to make his debut and he gave away a penalty. What a debut that was from him. £115 million. What a signing from Chelsea. Obviously, it wasn't the debut to remember for him. He'll do a lot better than that in the future, but it's still pretty funny. And Paquetá scored the penalty in the first of this incident where he thought he was fouled and it looked like a foul, but he just gave up. He just stopped playing. Yeah, he just threw his arms about and Sterling almost got in for Chelsea. That was really poor from him. However, his move to Manchester City is now off. When he scored, he did the irons symbol thing, so you know it looks like he's going to be committed there. Hopefully, we don't see him giving up like that again. I thought he played really well in the second half and he's a really talented player. Hopefully we see more of that. And the final game of the game week, Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Technically a South London derby. I thought Arsenal were going to win 3-1. Ended up winning 1-0. Again, another very controversial game because there's a penalty and a red card. The penalty, I think, was absolutely justified. You know, it was a terrible challenge from the goalkeeper. He caught Nketiah, clear penalty. Unfortunately, Saka didn't take the penalty. Of course, I have him in my FPL team as well. I had a guy dispatched it really well, though. And then Tomiyasu got a red card, 2 yellows. Neither of them should have been a yellow. The first one was from a throw-in, even though Havertz did 70% of the time wasting from it. So he should have been the one to get a yellow, if anyone. And then the second one was just a dive from Ayew. It was never a red card. Obviously, because it's a second yellow, VAR can't intervene, which I think is a stupid rule. Tomiyasu got sent off and then Arsenal were down to 10 men. They defended pretty well. Palace didn't really create anything too clear-cut. Eze had a poor game, I thought, but I still want someone to go sign him. Please, someone take him. Rice was really good for Arsenal though. Like, he got man of the match and some of his passing in that game was really good. He made some good runs and stuff. He just controlled the game as you'd expect him to. Again, Havertz was poor in my opinion. Some people say, no, he did alright. He did not do alright. He did nothing. I didn't even know he was playing. You know, and he's just, what? They've got Smith Rowe and Trossard, Reece Nelson sitting on the bench. Use one of them, Arteta, please, man. And stop benching Gabriel. I've got him in my FPL team as well, man. Please, just play him. He's a good guy. He's a good player. Put him in. That's my reaction to Game Week 2. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you soon for another video.